Zach Bryan, Brie chicken fry. We're still talking about them.
We are. There's actually a lot to unpack that happened just over the weekend.
And people want to hear about them. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They might not be the biggest names, but
it's
people
the biggest
are
story.
Really, really invested in what happened.
So latest, I feel like I'm like the expert on this now because I'm just like, did you see this? Did you see that?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so Dave.
Did you know?
I'll teach you. So Dave Portnoy is speaking out. Obviously, for those who don't know, Dave Portnoy and Brianna Chicken Fry are on a podcast together. Mm-hmm. She is a Barstool personality. He is the head of Barstool.
He is Barstool.
He is Mr. Barstool. And he was on his other show, The Unnamed Show, basically addressing the whole Brianna and Zach thing. And he unloaded, basically saying how he's never even liked Zach in the first place.
Which we kind of figured.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Like, Dave is the type of person who I think has feelings about everyone, which is fine.
Oh, I thought you were going to say feelings for Brie. I was like,
maybe, I don't know. But when he started going off, I was like, this is not unexpected at all.
No.
So Dave basically explained two different instances where Zach left a bad taste in his mouth. And one was this show in Las Vegas. They were all in Las Vegas. Dave was there. Brie was there. Their other podcast host was there, Josh Richards. Zach was there also doing a private show.
Okay.
And I guess they were all supposed to meet up and go to the concert. But Brie called Dave, I guess like a few hours before the concert, basically being like, hey, like, I don't really know how to tell you this, but Zach has banned you from coming to the show. So let's listen to Dave explain this story. It is truly wild. And then
I can already hear what it's gonna the tirade that's about to come.
Okay.
Finally, she calls me and goes, I don't know how to say this. I have bad news. I'm like, what? He's like, Zach has banned you from going to the concert. I'm like, what? Like, banned for what? Apparently, Zach went back, like, how many months was it? It had to be maybe 6 months. We at one time on BFFs had a discussion and where Brie just got a new boyfriend. I'm like, whoa, that's like her third boyfriend in fairly like a couple months. I'm like, you're evolving to her boyfriends lately. He saw that clip 6 months prior and banned us from going to the concert. Brie was like, it's the first biggest fight we've been in.
So, okay, first of all, I love the way Dave Portnoy tells stories. He's like going like all over the place.
It's like, wait, okay.
I feel like he's like me telling his
story.
But
the exact same thing that I said watching that, insecure baby.
The reason he didn't want Dave at the show was because he thought Dave was kind of chirping Brie for having a new boyfriend. So I guess...
But see, I don't see it like that. I see it as he doesn't like the fact that Dave just made a comment about her having multiple boyfriends and like he's insecure about it. I don't think he was saving face for Brie. I think because he's like, he's the tiniest man.
The smallest.
Yes.
You change it every time.
I know, but it means the same thing.
Yeah. So I guess maybe Brie took that as like, oh, well, he's just trying to have my back. So maybe that's why she didn't make it like a big thing.
Yeah. Well, she did say it was the biggest fight that they've ever been in. So,
but the crazy part is I remember listening to the BFFs podcast after that Vegas trip.
Yeah.
And they didn't say what actually happened,
But they said that they didn't go to the show.
But they said we weren't invited to Zach's private show.
So now we're getting all the tea.
It is funny how the things that come out after.
And then you connect all the dots.
And then it's like, oh, that makes sense. And the other thing that makes sense is this next story that Dave Portnoy explained was the whole Golden Globes fiasco. I don't know if you remember. Brie went to the Golden Globes this year, not with Zach, on her own with her podcast partner, Grace. And it was a whole thing because everyone noticed Zach unfollowed Brie on social media after she was. Oh
my gosh, I'm sorry. He's such a baby.
Everyone was like, "Oh, they broke up," and it was like she defended him once again as she has to. But Dave explains this entire situation again. Let's
hear that is.
And I think Brie, I'm paraphrasing, was interviewed on the red carpet. Like anybody you're excited to meet, and it was some famous, like awesome looking celebrity. And I think she's like, oh, he's good looking, or like, yeah, he looks nice.
Geez. Oh boy, here we go.
He unfollowed Brie on social, blocked BFFs. Like, you insecure baby. like she's on the the red carpet being interviewed. So he just seemed like a really immature, not confident baby.
Yeah, I agree with everything Dave
Insecure
Portnoy says
baby.
there. He's so insecure and he just needs to get off any kind of social media because
He doesn't handle the social media well.
I think he is so impulsive. He's that like something happens and it's like block, delete. And then it's like you wake up the next morning as he has after he writes tweets.
Yeah. And it's like, sorry, I was drunk.
Yeah. Or I think he does things impulsively and then the next
Doesn't
day is
think
like,
about it.
uh-oh.
Yeah.
But speaking of social media.
Bree, when she announced or she kind of addressed the breakup on social media, she's like, I'm going to be taking a break. And
She did not take a break.
She took a very short break, which, you know.
She took a 10-minute break.
You do you, girl. So she kind of posted some interesting stories this weekend. They were all kind of referencing Zach and the whole breakup. So one of them said...
Which I also think is a bit immature.
Exactly.
I mean, they are in their 20s.
And
but like...
That's my thing. It's like, Bree was looking like the good person.
I know.
And I'm like, you should have just stayed quiet. Like, don't now go on social media and post. So she just posted a photo. One of them said, fuck men and kill them all, LMAO.
Again, immature.
Another one said, I'm literally so fine, besties. Okay, that's great. And then another one, so there was a few, like all in the same day. She goes, remember when I put my life on pause for a man? Forgive me, I'm only human.
I mean, she's hurting. And I guess people, you know, deal with stress and I guess grieving the relationship too. You know, she's what, 25?
Yeah.
So this is probably her way of getting it out. I feel like you're right. She was looking
like a bit of
so
the
much
more
better. Like
one.
he's obviously in the wrong.
Yeah.
But I feel like when stuff like that happens or you have any sort of like deep emotion or feeling,
just post about
stay
it.
off social media.
Yeah.
The fact that people post these things is like mind-boggling to me.
Yeah. I do like that she publicly addressed putting her entire life on hold for a man because people were kind of like coming after her with her whole relationship with Grace, who's like her best friend and who she does the podcast with. And,
why did they have a...
Well, Bree basically like left and went on tour with Zach and would do her podcast from there, which is fine. Like she has the ability to do her job wherever, but it put a strain on their friendship and they addressed, because people started to notice in their episodes that something...
Well, you can always tell when there's a bit of tension.
That something was not right, and then they actually addressed it, and basically there was some friendship issues there, and I don't know if it was because of Zach, but now the fact that she's saying, I put my life on hold for a man, makes it sound more believable that the friendship fight was over Zach.
But that does happen, right? Because if in any twosome, if they're both single and then someone gets a boyfriend, it just changes.
For sure.
Right? Because it's like now your quote unquote wife.
Yeah. And you don't want to be that friend who's like doesn't text your friends anymore just because you have a boyfriend.
Yeah. So it's a delicate...
Nobody likes those people.
No. And it's a delicate balance though to be like, you know, you're obviously not going to be there 100% as you were before.
Yeah.
But it's a delicate dance of not being, you're right, like you're saying, that
Not being there
girl.
enough.
Because then when the relationship ends, then what do you have?
Run back to the
Exactly.
the friend
And
who-
I've seen that so many times. It's like, really?
Yeah. But
I'm sure I've been guilty of it too.
we'll see, I guess, how it kind of rolls out the next few days. But there is a new BFFs episode that'll be released on Wednesday, and Bree will be on it. So it sounds like they'll be...
And we will be listening.
And everyone will be tuning in. So
I mean...
good for her for monetizing
I was going to say, it's good for biz.
It's good for business. And Zach, if you want to come and talk about it, you can share your side of the story with us.
Yes, and you can show me your maturity.
Yes.
Yeah, if you
Redemption.
Can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on down to the pink couch. Pink skies, pink couch.
Yeah. Perfect.